Welcome back to my channel. You may call me Miss Introvert, and today we're going to be talking about how to pull your readers in when giving them a summary of your book. I'm so glad that you all are watching, and if you're having trouble with explaining your book to someone or writing down the description, then you've come to the right place. I want to do whatever I can to help you find the right words to speak to your audience. Honestly, I've been caught off guard before when people ask me about my book, whether it's family members at a family gathering or even strangers at my school. I don't want that to happen to you guys, so here's what I've learned about explaining your book. Before we begin, make sure that you like and share this video with your friends, your family, and your fellow writers to help grow our introverted writing community. If you like the content on my channel, make sure that you subscribe and become part of the introvert writing community. On this channel, I cover tips for beginning writers, and I also cover some tips for people who are in school with essay writing and all that kind of stuff, citations, all the nitty-gritty rules that no one really wants to worry about, but you have to as a student. I also have introvert and fangirl rants, which you can take part in the conversation in the comment section down below. It's mostly full of crickets, but I mean, there's plenty of room for actual people. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Number 1. Who is your audience? Before deciding what to say to your audience, you want to find out who your audience is. I have a whole video coming out next week on how to choose your audience, but for now, this is just going to be a summary. What are you writing, and why is it important to this group of people? There are so many varieties of audiences to choose from, like people who like specific genres, or people who are just avid readers, or readers who have guilty pleasures. If you're writing a sci-fi novel, then you should advertise it to a sci-fi audience. If you're writing a romance novel, then show it to people who are into adorable banter, or people who are into, like, enemies to lovers conflict. If you are a writer with enemies to lovers conflict, I am part of that audience. Please tell me about your book. If you're writing a fantasy novel, then you should also advertise it to me, because I need some Skyrim-esque reading, if you know what I mean. If you're having a hard time pinning down your audience, then look at some other story-based media that's like your book and research it. We'll talk more about that later. Once you've picked out your audience, you can move on to the next step. Number 2, what is in your book? Once you've answered what your book is about and who your book is for, then you want to work on selling that description to your audience. Why is your book something they should read? A good way to do this is to tell them in a way that they'll understand, but also give a unique appeal to it as well. If your book is similar to another story, then tell your audience what that book is similar to. Maybe you were inspired by The Walking Dead to write your zombie apocalypse story, so tell your readers that it's similar to The Walking Dead. Not so much that you get sued though, but this will grab the zombie apocalypse readers' attention, because they probably know how occasionally good The Walking Dead is. Take Marissa Meyer's best-selling series, The Lunar Chronicles, for example. In the reviews of her first book, Cinder, critics called it a cross between fairy tales and Star Wars. And also you should read it, because it's really good. Once you have their attention, you want to tell them how your story is unique. It's like something the audience loves, but that nuance that you've incorporated originally will help make it stand out even further. So my trilogy that I'm writing right now is similar to Lord of the Rings, in that it's a fantasy novel with a colorful cast of characters and a quest to embark on, and that colorful cast of characters are my children, and if anyone does anything at all to hate on them, they will feel my wrath. But the story is also different, because it's a cross between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. No, it's weird, but bear with me. There's an underdog group of rebellious thieves that are trying to take back what's theirs. There's no Death Star involved, but it's the same concept of good and evil. Comment down below what genres and what mix of similar and unique your books are. It's great practice, and also I'll probably be intrigued by them, and I'll be excited to see them lining the bookshelves at certain libraries and bookstores. Just give it a try. Number 3, why should readers read your book? Those two ways are not the only ways that you can show readers why they should read your book. Yes, there is more. You also want to answer a logical question. If P, then Q, therefore PQ? I don't remember math. Don't listen to me if I use math as a metaphor in a discussion. That was a bad idea, never mind. But you get what I mean, right? You want to have a strong argumentative statement when it comes to why readers should read your book. There has to be something universal but also original about it. Is there a moral or a theme that you need to mention before your reader even starts reading? It doesn't have to be too complicated. Just something that your reader can understand and think about as they read your book. For now, the statement should only be sparking intrigue. Another thing you can do is jot down the aspects that you think make your book great and then use them later in your description. Is there action? Are there love triangles? Is there enemies to lovers conflict? Is there an underlying theme? Does it have to do with a specific belief? Keep your descriptions brief, but balance whatever you have into a clear and informative statement. Take Suzanne Collins' The Hunger Games, for example. It's so addicting because of the violence and suspense, but it's also balanced out by the love triangle and romance between Katniss and Peeta, or Katniss and Gale, depending on which team you're on, and all the other couples that are in that book. And the underlying theme that keeps the enemy at bay is the hope of the rebellion to defeat the oppressive control of the capital. Again, keep it brief, but mold it into something that your reader is going to be able to understand and be intrigued by. This is not the same book as the fantasy one. It's a gothic romance with steampunk dystopia, but for my book, I use a statement that I repeat in the first few chapters of the book. The quote is, "Once upon another dark day," and has a universal theme of discovery in the face of fear. So the statement can come out to be, one can always find light in another dark day. Short and simple. And those are just some of the ways you can write a short but eye-catching description for your readers, or explain your book to someone. I hope that this helped anyone who is looking for some advice on writing and explaining your summary, and this is just my take on the subject. There are plenty of other ways to look at this concept, and you can modify my advice however you'd like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like and share this video to help grow our introverted writing community. Comment down below what you love about being a writer, an introvert, or even a fan of a certain fandom. I would love to start a discussion or a rant in the comments section. Well, that's all for now, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, check out my blog, and find the writing help you need on my Fiverr account. All the links will be in the description below. And stay basic. Okay, bye!